Do less. You're in a season in your life where you're going to realize, especially if we're talking about in relationship to others, less is more. A lot of my chosen ones, a lot of my light workers, many of you are sitting here with a different spirit, with a different light. Many of you, even not just due to your nature that has been taken advantage of, even in your young years, but many of you are just honestly nurturers. Many of you are people who will give and give and give and give until you have no more. What that does for a person over time, especially people who are naturally like that, is that can easily put you in a place where you feel resentful. You're always doing for other people, but when it's your turn, who's there for you? This is a time where doing less is going to be more. I mean, saying less. We just spoke about this on one of the last episodes of the 828 podcast that I posted on Patreon, which is called Move in Silence. And I really mean this. And what I mean by move in silence, family, we're not just talking about moving in silence for a season. We're not talking about moving in silence for a week or for a weekend or for a year. We're talking about mastering the art of just honestly moving in silence, mastering the art of being observers, mastering the art of allowing people to truly show us who they are. If anybody gonna be explaining, if anybody gonna be splaining, it's gonna be the other person and not us. Let people show you who they are. A lot of times we have the proclivity to overshare, to over-explain, to let people in who they don't really deserve that. So do less, say less, extend your energy less. Keep all of that for you. It's time you get paid back everything that you've sown. Many of you have oversown and oversown and oversown and not sown in a way to where you have been expecting something, but you have just been sowing into other people and other situations out of your nature, out of who you are. And guess what? It's your turn to receive. You got to get out of the way. And this is not to, be selfish in a narcissistic way. Many of you who are listening to this need this message because you were probably raised by a narcissist. You probably had a significant adult relationship with a narcissist that changed you forever. And if you ever dealt with a narcissist, you understand how traumatizing on the mind, body, and soul that is. For those of you who went through different forms of abuse, went through different seasons where people have repaid evil for your good, it is literally time to take your power back. It's time to give all that extra energy that you give to other people, give it to yourself. All of that encouraging that you would do. And again, let me be clear about this. For those of you who are, teachers, for those of you who are healers, and for those of you who help others collectively, I'm not necessarily talking about that. We come here as light workers to do light work. And the thing is, many of us who are light workers, many of us who are chosen, we're a voice for many that are just like us. And it's very beneficial when we do our work because we're speaking to other people like us. I'm not talking about that necessarily. And even when we're talking about that, we still have to keep a balance with ourselves. We don't want to overgive to anybody or anything that where it's depleting us. We have to be our best selves in order to be able to give. I'm speaking about this in terms of people in your personal life. If you've ever been around a narcissist or you was raised by a narcissist, one thing that you would know is that narcissistic people, you got to constantly feed their ego. You got to constantly make them feel good about themselves. You got you got to constantly be giving and pouring into them. It can be very draining. Imagine if you stop all the things that you've been given externally, especially to these people who've been abusive to you mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Imagine if you just took all that and gave it to yourself and then allowed other people to prove to you who they are in your life. Allow other people to step up to the plate. Instead of you explaining yourself, let them explain themselves. Instead of you going in about what you've been through during your life, let them explain what they've been through in their life. Let them meet you. Let them come give the job applications to you. You got to switch the energy. You got to switch your expectations. And I'm telling you, for those of you who this is for, those of you who've overgiven most of your life, this is a season and a time where it's like, have you learned the lesson? Are you going to continue to do the same thing that you've been doing? Overpouring yourself, oversharing yourself, or are you going to switch things up? Because what is one of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite adages is doing the same thing and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. I know us very well as chosen ones. None of us are insane. So we got to start moving with wisdom. Switch things up. Things that you would naturally do. Pause. These are some things that we deal with. Even as I said, we're doing 30 days to success and love on patreon.com/prettybossTV. We really deal with core issues on that 30 Days to Success program. Things that you would naturally do, your natural reactions, take some time between your reactions. Learn how to not be reactive, but to be responsive. Before you respond to something, before you do something, before you take an action, ask yourself, Where is this action coming from? Is this something that I'll naturally do? Is this something I'm programmed to do? Is this the way that I want to respond? Is this how I always respond? And when I respond like this, what type of results does it bring me? What you're going to realize is you start to create that space between your reaction time, between your response time. You're going to start seeing how you're going to get different results from people around you. You're going to start seeing where instead of you being depleted, instead of you being taken for granted, instead of you being taken advantage of, you're going to see people who are meant to be in your life actually step up to the plate and be who they're supposed to be. Or you're going to see the right people start to flow in your life who are able to reciprocate the same energy that you have. People that pour into you in ways to where naturally, of course, you're going to reciprocate that and give that to them. But we need to have people in our lives at this point who deserve that type of energy. So many of you have already given so much that you have to the wrong people that now that we're in a season where we're going to be coming in alignment with other light workers, where we're going to be coming in alignment with our soul tribes, with other chosen ones. Some of you are tired. It's like, I don't have time or energy for any of that. And this is the season to be up for it. This is the season that you're going to be meeting people that are equally yoked with you. This is the season that you're going to be meeting people that the same way you've been prepared through different trials and tribulations and you've been steadfast. This is the season that you are here to meet other people who taken that same journey, who taken that same narrow path. In order to allow those people in, you got to let everybody else who don't fall in line fall to the wayside. And a way that you're going to see people who are supposed to be there or allow new people in who should be there is by doing less. Just focus on being, and most importantly, focus on being for yourself the person that you've been for everybody else in your life. Put all that energy on you, at least for 2024. You're gonna come back 2025 with a completely different story. I love y'all so very much. Let me know how this resonates in the comments. I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all willing? Peace.